Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. So what I have for you today is the Shin Getter 1 black version. Now, before we go into this, a disclaimer, I don't know anything about the fiction of this robot. I've certainly seen him around, but it's not something I follow, and always kind of, I don't know, I mean it's okay, but the design never really leaped out at me. But when I saw this black version in my local vintage toy shop and it had a ridiculously low price, I had to get it because I think this color scheme works really well on this robot design. So anyway, this thing is gigantic. The packaging is pretty cool. He's got these strange bat wings that are in window boxes on either side. If we take a quick look at the back of the package, you can see the normal color scheme that he comes in. Now, one thing to note on this panel here, it proclaims 13 points of articulation. Now keep that in mind as we look at the actual figure, because this is a good-looking, big figure with absolutely fatal flaws in my opinion. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But anyway, so there you go. There's a look at the box. Let's take a look at the figure. Here he is in all his glory. Now, as you can see by the sun shining off his blades, he is certainly a good-looking figure. He's all black except the chest / abdomen piece right here is a dark blue, which I don't know if it'll show up or not. And obviously you can see he's got gold and silver highlights, and overall just it really looks good. Here's the feet. Now he's real big. He's kind of hard to fit into camera. How big? Well, about the same size as a Masterpiece Prime. Now on the box, you remember it said 13 points of articulation. Now here's where I have a problem with this thing. Looks great, sure, but shoulder, the elbows only turn, the wrists do swivel, the head turns just left to right. He's got all these spikes so he can barely move his head. The hip articulation is again just a swivel, as is the knee, and then the ankle. So while he does technically have 13 points of articulation, in my mind he's a horribly articulated figure, and there's really not that much that you can do with him, particularly with the legs, with the lack of articulation in the legs. So that's his critical flaw. So, you know, if you require a lot of posability and articulation in your figures, then it's done for you. You're not going to like this guy. Basically, he's going to stand there and look cool, and he does that tremendously well. Let me give you a quick look at the head sculpt. So here's about as good a look at the head sculpt as I can give you. Now, I think this is one of the strong points. It's got a really cool face design. Gold mouth plate, red eyes. Some versions of this guy that I've seen, some of the figures, I don't know, it doesn't work for me, especially in the standard colors, but this version, this head sculpt, it really works for me. I think it looks awesome. Now we get to the accessories that this guy comes with, and he does come with some pretty cool accessories. Now, the first one doesn't make much sense to me on the normal figure, but on this guy, he has these wings that plug into his back. Basically, you know, just got a slot and it's got a peg. Plug him in, and he's got these wings that hang out behind him. Can also plug him in like this, I suppose. And the wings are huge and do make him look even more impressive in terms of size and overall appearance. But to be honest, I'm not really a guy that likes big demonic wings on my robots. So take these off. And then we'll get to the real accessory. The number one cool thing about this toy. And there's only one way I can really introduce this, and that's like this. Oh yeah, that is an axe. So, that is the most gigantic melee weapon you are ever going to see. Now, that's right against him. That's how big this thing is. It is huge. Freaking huge. Gigantic. Plastic. This shaft is a little bendy, but it's just the weight of the axe itself that makes it seem so floppy. Yeah, it is a really cool accessory. I mean, it's huge. A kid could run around with this thing. And it's pretty awesome. Now, it also comes with a spear tip, which, take this off. So, pretty wicked looking spear, but I mean, come on, who's going to use that? So, this brings me to my other problem with this guy, which is that if you're going to have an axe that's this big, it's inexcusable that he can't hold it in both hands. Only in his right fist does he actually have a hole that he can use to hold it. His left fist doesn't even have a hole. Now, personally, I'm just going to drill out the appropriate sized hole because you can get him lined up so that he can hold this thing like this, which would look sweet, you know, or this, however you want to do it. But as it is, because he can only hold it in one hand, all he can really do is stand with it like this, which still looks really impressive. I mean, like I said, it's a gigantic axe, but it'd be so much better if he could put both hands on this. And, you know, I'm going to drill out the hand, but it's just disappointing that they would design it with only one handhold. I don't know. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. But, anyway, so that's the Shin Getter 1 black version. Sorry that I can't enlighten you on all the nuances of the fiction it comes from, but I think you'll agree it's a limited but very, very cool looking robot. And he's pretty fun. I like him a lot. But, you know, obviously you would have to make up your own mind as to what he's worth. I will say this, I got him incredibly cheap. Very cheap. I don't want to say how cheap, but, you know, pretty cheap. So he's worth it for the price I paid, but I would not pay much for him unless you're really into this guy. So there you go. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and take care until next time.